The Celtic Unrestricted View is sponsored by AB Entertainment. It's a DJ and entertainment business. And we are also partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. Both our sponsor and our partner are on social media and can be found on Facebook or Instagram. So feel free, guys, to check them out as they offer fantastic services, and enjoy the upcoming episode. Hail, hail. Good morning and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP, and joining me on this fine Thursday morning, my good man, Mr. Alan Stirling. Alan, really good to see you, mate. You're smiling, which can only mean one thing. Celtic went away from home in the Champions League and didn't get a battering. And you also predicted it on the live and on the recording, on Tuesday, that you predicted that Celtic would get a draw. You did say one each, but I'll let you away with that, big fella. The result was the same, and we got a draw, and we picked up our first set of points away from home in such a long time, mate, against Italy's top scorers at the moment in Atalanta. So very good morning to you, mate, and I hope you're well.
Yeah, morning everyone. Nice morning. Waking up with some pride today about how our team performed against one of better sides that we're going to play against this year.
Yes.
Obviously, Europa League winners last year. So, yeah, we can take a lot of pride for that. It was a kind of monumental defensive performance. It wasn't the best to watch at times. It was kind of hide behind the couch. But if you're offering me that kind of any day of the week, I think I'd snap your hand off for that kind of result. It puts us in a very strong place in terms of kind of finishing in the playoff positions and kind of progressing into another game. Not getting ahead of ourselves yet, but 4 points for the first 3 games. It's quite an impressive kind of points total we've got so far. So feeling very, very happy. Just checked the stock market there, and I think Costco and Domestos, they've took a wee dip, a wee turn for the worse because Ryan won't be buying any bleach today. So that's a big loss for them. But I think absolutely tremendous result. The defensive display was out of this world. Kasper Schmeichel was a colossus in goal.
Yeah.
Top class saves, a few of them, and very, very happy to kind of see the result last night.
Yeah. Aye, and to you guys, the viewers, thanks for tuning in with us this morning. Hope everybody is well. Hope you're having a good day. If you're new to the channel, obviously, please hit the like button and the subscribe. It's totally free, and we will be dearly indebted to you for the time being. As most people that have already hit the like and subscribe have already been done as well. So we do our best to try and get as many of your comments up as well. And we'll start with that one. Plunge McNugget is in first this morning. He said, morning, boys. Fantastic performance and result. And morning, JP, Alan, and the chat. Bet everyone's relieved that there was no humiliating defeat last night. PS3 Retro TV. What a name that is, by the way. Morning, guys. Trusty surprised me. Outstanding. Hail, hail. There's a wee man there. Morning, lads. Bleach firmly in the cupboard. Yeah, wee dry throat this morning for you, mate. Nothing needing in the cleansing department for you, mate. You can use it on the house now instead of yourself.
His flares will be clean now.
Aye, his flares will be clean now, aye. Now when you get into his house will be
sparkling.
smelling nice.
Aye.
Aye, that's because he's Celtic, he's had to wash your house now.
I know.
All in all, didn't see that. It's all coming. I'm well chuffed. And who's the snitches on as well? He said, hail, gentlemen. Scott Melville, we will call him in the chat as well. He said, hail, lads. Hope you're well, Scott. It's good to see you, pal. And Mr. Glavin won't be drinking bleach either. No, I think Mr. Glavin sent a lot of people home worried, apart from me, because I took us to one. So me and Alan were a wee bit more pragmatic.
We didn't say 5-0.
We didn't say 5-0, unlike some people, you know, Mr. Clifford.
I wonder
how you're feeling this morning, Ryan, after predicting your 5-0. Now, obviously, no doubt you'll be disappointed, Alan, because obviously Atalanta let him down, mate.
Aye, we bring the kind of top opinions for the top people that are predicting kind of 5-0 for our good friend Ryan. So,
yeah,
just to be shout out, just predict. I hope he predicts 6-0 for the Leipzig game, because maybe then we'll win 1-0. Then we're going in that way. But it seems that way with our good friend William Glavin as well. He says we were in with a shout in the first game against Dortmund. We got scalped. And then he says we were going to get hammered this game. And we got a draw. So, aye, keep predicting the opposite, and I'll be happy just to kind of take in the wee point for a draw or 3 points for a win, hopefully the next one. But, aye, it's a good time to be a Celtic player.
A Celtic player. It's a great time to be a Celtic player, of course, aye. But
it's a good time to be a Celtic fan at present. Aye. So we're no chasing our manager, so like other people.
No, definitely not. In fact, the polar opposite of that. I think Brendan Rodgers deserves a lot of credit. Obviously, he was telling fibs in his presser, when really it was clear to see last night, right for the off, Alan, that Celtic had a game plan.
I think he must be listening to the podcast, but I've been saying, so I think he must be taking a few tips for Big Maestro here. So I'm glad to know he's listening in. And Brendan, hit the like button, please.
Yes, and it's free to do so also, Brendan, if you're watching, and subscribe. I know you're probably knackered after travelling home for last night, and the team are probably knackered. So, but as I say, it's not only that, Alan, I think it shows an extreme level of character for this side that's been questioned now many a times from last season and into now. Especially we did get mauled over in Dortmund, and quite rightly so, they were criticised and there was a lot of scrutiny on them. And I think last night as well, mate, you could probably look at that and say there was quite a big bit of pressure going into the game.
Indeed, yeah. And I think it's probably the way that it's set up. I think everybody kind of looked upon the Dortmund game and says, what are we doing here? So we did criticise them, rightly so, the way that Brendan set the team up. But with criticism, the other end of the scale, your praise comes away when you have performances and tactical awareness like you did last night. It was a lot more pragmatic approach. We tried to kind of frustrate Atalanta. I think we succeeded in that. There's no doubt about it. They are a top side. The way they were kind of putting the ball about, it was impressive football that they were playing. Yeah. We did get a wee bit of the luck of the green. If that one that kind of hit the underside of the bar, if it's an inch kind of below that, it's probably going in the net. So I think everything just kind of went right for us last night. We did play exceptionally well at the back. There was a number of players that you would give kind of 9 and 10s out of 10. I think Kasper Schmeichel gets a solid 10. You're looking at Scales and Trusty. We've mentioned Trusty. That's what we're talking about before we come on.
Did you think Joe Hart was a big helping hand as well? His commentary was as if he was on that platform he was going.
So Kasper must have seen Joe and he's like, I've got to show you how it's done, mate. Yeah. So I think you're looking at Trusty.
Big Tuesday for no, by the way, he's a size 12, I heard.
Aye. So Trusty at the weekend was getting criticism as well, rightly so. But again, with the praise, he was unbelievable last night. So we've seen different ends of the scale with Trusty there. We've seen him being pretty hopeless and absolutely unbelievable. So let's hope he stays at the latter like he played last night, because I think him and Scales were absolutely fantastic. Alistair Johnston as well, thought it was incredible. I thought out the midfield, I think Rio Hatate again was showing why he's been selected. I thought Rio Hatate was unbelievable. Cool again, stepping up to the mark. I'd say that
First 20 seconds, mate, I was wanting to batter that. You seen my text, didn't you?
aye. So, but the majority of the team really played to their maximum. We spoke about it in depth the other day, that we had to play our very best and hope for a wee bit of luck.
Yeah.
And gladly we got that wee bit of luck, and we did play to our very best. And that's an absolutely massive point that we've gained away to Atalanta, as we'll say, Europa League winners last year.
Yeah.
Very, very good side. Only Arsenal only managed to get a draw early in the season. So it's a massive result. And with that,
And it's not only that, mate, they also whacked Liverpool 3-0 there last season as well.
last year in the knockouts. So I think with this result as well, it comes confidence that we can actually do this in Europe. I think the last away point we got was it 2 years ago? Shakhtar Donetsk, I'm sure. Was it?
Yeah.
3 years ago. But that is the
I think it's our first ever clean sheet.
So with the second
since we
clean
beat
sheet
Anderlecht.
so with the second clean sheet we've ever had away from home in the Champions League group stages. So, and that's gone back a while. So
yeah,
it was a monumental kind of performance. Massive respect to the players, massive respect to Brendan Rodgers as well for the setup. And it's put smiles on all of our faces, and we're extremely happy. And I think that'll breed confidence, as I say, going into the next Champions League games, that we've managed to get a draw away at Atalanta. So if we can play that way in our next kind of away games, what's stopping us from kind of picking up points in Zagreb? What's stopping us from picking up points in Aston Villa? I know they're in a great vein of form, but against Aston Villa, you wouldn't say Atalanta's probably a similar level of side, you'd probably say. So if we could do that last night, what's stopping us from repeating that feat and picking up a kind of reasonable amount of points in this new Champions League?
Yeah.
And hopefully, at the very least, getting into the playoffs for further rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. I take it you've got Ryan's rosary beads there, aye, because you just went in a mad spiel there, and it's usually the wee man it does it.
I know usually, but I just it's got me very happy after watching last night. I think every Celtic fans kind of feeling proud that we were able to kind of get a point. I know we're saying it's a draw and that, but these teams are kind of levels above the kind of calibre of players that we've got. The number of quality players that they've got on their side last night it is pretty scary that we're going up against them.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt when you're watching their football last night, they are very technically gifted.
Yeah.
So I'm bursting with pride today that we've actually managed to get a draw away from home against a top side like that.
I mean, this is where we are, isn't it? I mean, sometimes, you're going to be forced back. It's good to see Francis in this morning as well. He's took his wall down. He says that he'd built on Monday night in the Idah show. So, aye, that's decent to hear, mate. I hope it wasn't too hard to knock down, mate, after the concrete you had to put in it. But, aye, good on you, mate. A wee hat. Siski's a wee hat. One of them ones, aye. Just in case. But, listen, Alan, I don't want to be too complimentary too much of of Atalanta, because we had moments in the game as well. You look at the one Nicholas Kuhn runs by the boy Martin Derun. If not, if he doesn't take an extra touch, he's like Joe Hart says, he cuts in the field. Derun's already beaten, so if he cuts in the feed, Ederson doesn't cover that ground, and therefore he's technically 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. There was moments in the game. I mean, look at Engels' shot as well. It was saved by the goalkeeper. Then you had
That was a great save,
Kyogo's.
by the way.
It was a great save. And then there was one mirrored copied from Casper in the second half, exactly the same from Pasalic. But then you look at the one Kyogo, he's trying to lob a goalkeeper and he just put too much on it and not enough dip to take it under the bar. But we did have wee moments in the game as well where we actually tried to keep the ball. But because of it, William, and by the way, Mr. Glavin was spot on. The only thing, I was going to phone William this morning before we came live and say that the man that he wanted to speak about highly and the boy the Tigru. Apparently, Liam Scales got stopped at the airport coming home for carrying extra luggage. Your boy the Tigru was in his back pocket. So, I thought I'd just throw that one in for good measure there as well. But yeah, mate, a lamb like you, so proud of every one of them. We had to play a different type of game last night, you know, we were forced to do so with the way, you know, William was spot on in his analysis. They put on a man Martin style against us last night, and they were touch tight to their players, and a lot of our play had to be within their own half sometimes as well. But there was elements where we to show a great bit of character last night, mate, but to show a real good personality about us as well. And you look at the second half, Alan, there was a couple of, like, they tried to cross it in through the box, low crosses, and you had guys like McGregor, Johnson, Trusty, all really like giving their all to get the ball out of there. And when you've got that heart and desire, mate, to keep the ball out of net, and not only that, you end up keeping a clean sheet, mate. It's just remarkable.
We did get a bit of luck. I think the stats were kind of 22 shots that Atalanta had, 2 or 4. So we did have moments, but they were...
Yeah, I forgot about that one as well. Vai shot tipped over the bar. I knew what he meant. I know I didn't mean to say, but that was another one. Sorry, Alan.
No, there were few and far between. Obviously, you look at the shots at goal. But we performed well, basically, defensively as well. There wasn't a lot going on, but we did have a couple of decent chances, as you stated there.
Yeah.
But I think we're all over the moon with getting the point. I think if it would have been kind of daylight robbery if we'd picked up 3 points. I think we all would have loved it, but I think we'd have been kind of that wee wry smile going away for Atalanta. Like,
yeah,
just took 3 points off you. But I'm massively happy with the 1 point. I say it's going into the last 2 games, the Dortmund and Atalanta. They're probably going to be our hardest games in this competition. And to pick up 1 point for the 2 games, I think that's massive. And as I say, hopefully we kick on with one next, maybe the Leipzig game. It's going to be difficult as well, but you look at them, they've played 3 games in the Champions League and they're still on 0 points.
Yes.
So at home, with the crowd behind us as well, I would be hoping for at least another point to pick up there, hopefully all 3. But then you look at the following 3 games after that, that's where our competition will be decided, how far we go. Because these 3 games are definitely winnable games.
Yeah.
Like Club Brugge, and then you've got Zagreb, and then Young Boys. So I think these 3 games are definitely winnable. You've got 2 of them at home as well, which gives us a wee bit of added advantage. So we'll put ourselves in a really, really promising place, and be happy kind of progressing in this competition. And just we need to applaud the way that Brendan set up last night and the guys that crossed the white line, the way they performed, the way they kind of frustrated Atalanta. It's highly admirable the way we defended, and we just need to kind of, hopefully that gives us the confidence going on to other kind of similar games in the Champions League that we can do this now. We're at that stage that we can do this away from home now. We've shown that. So let's continue to do that, and hopefully we can make as much of an impact as possible this year in the competition.
Yeah, I mean, touching on the actual players last night, I mean, for me, Alan, I thought that they got through us more in the first half. for me than they did in the second half. The second half was more of a frustration because we were having to force them to cross balls into the box. Once or twice, maybe they got in and played a low ball cross the box, but none of their men were on the ball. It was like cleared away by the Celtic player every time, just about. And there was moments, like I say, there was moments in the game where we tried to play. But Hatate, he was a calming influence for us last night. You know, he got the ball down and he was looking for that pass. I thought Bernardo was very good when he came on as well. I thought that was the thing as well. I thought when Brendan made the subs came on and affected the game in a way where they kept it almost the same. You know, the compact style. There was no major gaps. There was players all fighting for one another. And that's not what we saw in Dortmund. In Dortmund, for the first couple of minutes, we made a few errors. The game just got away from us.
It was more structured last night. It was more structured. We played more compact and more narrow. And just a wee shout out to William. William actually says that their kind of wingers in the three played more kind of centrally towards goal. So we kind of played that more narrow, compact way in the kind of defence in the midfield, which, as you rightly says, it's kind of forcing them out wide and forcing them to put kind of balls into the box. So I think that's another part where the tactics were kind of spot on. We just filled the middle of the park with as many bodies as possible, and obviously it worked because it frustrated Atalanta massively. And I think the kind of tactics going forward against the kind of the elite sides, that I think that's the way that we will play going and set up going forward.
Yeah. Obviously, touching on individual players, like I thought Austin Trusty was absolutely solid. I mean, he got his head on most, or near enough every header he was able to try and get winning. He even headed Pasalic on the side. Was it De Ketelaar or Pasalic? I can't remember what one. He headed him on the side of the head, but still won the ball. And gave a lad a sore one. But they just could not get any real flow, especially in the second half. That's what impressed me the most, because a lot of their play was outside their 18-yard box. You know, and they were trying to get across the field. And you look at Alex Valle, Alan, see for me, mate, and I know you picked up on it on Tuesday when we recorded with William, in terms of, you know, his 1-on-1s against Aberdeen more than a bit. His 1-on-1s were unbelievable. He kept knocking the ball. Like, he would get it and he would knock it back off the lad and win as a shy or get as a foul. Or, I know there was a couple of passes where he tried to make a pass and it just didn't quite reach the man, but he never let that bother him, mate. He just get back in and, you know, set himself again to go again. And it was just so impressive, mate. And for a team that, for me, they deserve millions of credit, mate, because of the amount of hassle and criticism that was brought to them against Dortmund. Realistically, mate, nobody gave them a chance. You know, we're only noising Ryan up about predicting 5-0, but lots of Celtic fans were expecting that scoreline, mate. And I think lots of Celtic fans are still trying to pinch themselves, going, what the hell? How did that possibly happen? And it just happened with sheer hard work, mate, and a real game plan that worked well for us.
I think lots of Celtic fans probably thought that we were going to go out and set up the same way we did against Dortmund, foolishly. But gladly, Brendan's kind of played a blinder and he's set us up properly. That's the most efficient way to play against these kind of top level sides, for us to gain any points whatsoever. So I thought Valle was absolutely incredible last night as well. I thought he's really kind of starting to progress. I know that we're saying to ourselves kind of, let's take it game by game. He's only been in for a few games. Let's see how he gets on, but that's not going to do him any harm. I think the last couple of games after the Dortmund game, I said that yesterday to William. No, Tuesday. Said that Tuesday to William that I think after the Dortmund game, it really the players' confidence really took a hit there.
Yeah.
You've seen that with a couple of performances after that. Just wasn't the same kind of level of performance that we had been showing earlier in the season. So this is going to do our confidence the world a good, and hopefully we can kick on again. Trusty again. He has been getting a lot of criticism, and I think rightly so in the last couple of games. But he's shown last night that he's capable of that level of performance. I don't know if it's because is he just a out-and-out defender? We've always mentioned that he looks maybe a wee bit apprehensive, a wee bit nervous on the ball. I thought when
He
we
was
were,
good. He was good on the ball last night as well.
but is it because when we're attacking teams that he's got too much maybe time on the ball? I don't know
It
if
could be.
that's maybe the case. He's just an out-and-out defender, but you've got to give him kind of top marks for last night. I thought the whole back line was very, very good. I'm looking at Kasper Schmeichel as well. As I say, he was just unstoppable. There was a number of good saves that Kasper pulled off.
Yeah.
And that just shows how good a goalkeeper that we've brought in the summer. And I was one that was maybe questioning the length that kind of Kasper will be here because of his age, but
Yeah.
if he's putting in the kind of performances, I'll take up to 62, you know what I mean? So we just kind of play that beer, but he did look a colossus last night. As I say, I thought it's no surprising for you to hear, but I thought that kind of Real Hatate looked back to somewhere near his brilliant best. I thought he was really impressive last night as well. But overall, the full team, they all kind of pitched in and done their job. And as I said the other day, that's what we needed. We need every player to be playing at their optimum. Maybe at Atalanta, no putting things away, a wee bit of rubbery green, like the ball hitting the bar and coming back out. But we worked hard for that. There was a lot of kind of grit and determination for the team, and I think we got more rewards at the end of the night. We're getting a very valuable point.
Yeah. There's a comment in for Ryan. Says the excuse saying we can't compete is now gone. When you have the right approach and stick to the game plan and also some luck, you can get any results. Yeah, Ryan, I mean, that's the thing, Alan, and obviously Ryan. I've never bought into the narrative that we can't compete. I've never, that's been a crazy spun narrative, in my opinion. I've never bought into that narrative whatsoever because we've already proven that we can compete many a times. You know, we've over the last couple of years, we've actually had victories in the Champions League as well. The people are probably going to say to me, JP, the level of opposition, aren't they like a Real Madrid, but you can only beat what's in front of you, Alan. You know, you can only do what you can. These teams have deserved the right to be in the Champions League first and foremost. So I've never really bought into that narrative. But I do agree with Ryan there, Alan. I do think that anybody's doubt now about whether Celtic can compete or not. And it's not about spending hundreds of millions of pounds to do it. It's about getting the right personnel in the building, getting the right personnel on the training field, getting the right personnel working with the manager, and getting the right personnel to go and play a style of football that the manager wants them to play, and everybody buying into that style. Last night was a completely different way that we've played under Brendan Rodgers. You know, that's the kind of first time, and I think we're all still really shocked at that. You know, we all thought when we saw the lineup, everybody thought,
Pleasantly shocked.
yeah, everybody in their granny probably thought, oh no, here we go, he's going to go toe to toe with us mob or try and have a go at him. And little did we know when the game started, we could really quite rightly see that wasn't going to be the case, and we were going to be a lot more compact and you know, and probably because we were going to be forced to, because that team would have forced anybody to be in that shape, and you know they've done the exact same with Arsenal. But in terms of the narrative itself, Alan, I've never really bought into that narrative of whether Celtic can compete or not. It's just about doing it now and try to do it more consistently than what we have done in the past, mate.
If we set up the way we set up against Dortmund, we'll not compete. I think that's the point. It's the setup. It's the way that we've went about the game last night. That's the way we need to continue to do it going forward, because you might not have the best players sometimes, but you need to find a different way to approach these games. You need to find a way that's going to be relatively successful, and you need to approach every game differently. So there's a massive kind of difference between the way we approached the Dortmund game and the way we approached last night. And last night it was successful because we knew we couldn't go toe to toe with this level of opposition. So we find a way to frustrate them. We find our best possible chance at gaining points and getting a decent result. And finally, Brendan's starting to change that, because he's seen that a number of times in his first spell as well, that we actually think that we can go toe to toe with these teams. We've seen it with Dortmund. So I think the realisation's kind of finally set in that we need to approach these games in a different manner, and that's the only way that we can actually compete. If we kind of realise they'll get better players, so we need to find a different way to win. We need to find a different way to approach these games, and if we do that, we have got really good players against the kind of lower sides that we can play our own football. When you look at maybe the young boys game, and you look a couple of the games we can set up at home the way we usually go toe to toe with these kind of teams, and I think that will be successful in the games. But last night, I can't speak highly enough of the way that we've performed. I can't speak highly enough of the way that we set up, and I'm just, as I think the word is, proud. We really proud.
As Sir Alex would say.
Aye. So I think going forward, it gives us that wee bit of confidence that we know that we can set up that way, and it can be relatively successful.
We had a chat last night regarding certain performers on the field and stuff. There's a wee comment here for Scott Melville. He actually split into two comments, but it's the same point. Scott reckons that Big Idah, he put some shift in for us last night, and he said it's a thankless task, been up there on his own, and he worked tirelessly. So obviously we had a chat about Idah, and you and Ryan are of the opinion that he needs to do more. I don't see it like that. I feel that the 9.5 million still lingering for some Celtic fans. Cast your minds back to the last season and what he done for us. In my opinion, he's paid that price tag back to us already, and what he done for us last season. Again, I'm a great believer in last season. If it's not for Adam Idah, Celtic don't go on and win that double. But again, I suppose that's the beauty of it, Alan, because there's so many different people see that, they see it differently when they're looking at it.
Aye, everybody's got a different opinion. If we'd all had the same opinion, it wouldn't be much fun coming on
here.
A
boring place, wouldn't it?
Aye, so I definitely think that even out with the price tag, Adam Idah wants to kind of compete with Kyogo. For myself just now, Kyogo's kind of levels above what Adam Idah's producing. I don't know, it's just a few games he's seen, he doesn't look entirely fit. I don't know if that's maybe because of match fitness, etc. But I think we should be expecting a lot more for Adam Idah. I know people have got opinion that he played well last night. I don't know if the ball was maybe sticking to him as well as maybe he played last year. There was sometimes he played up top last year and he was holding the ball up very well. I'm not so sure that he done it as well last night. It's no, I've said it's a bit trusty, I've said it's a bit value. Give these guys a wee bit of time. Obviously, Adam Idah had the 6 months last year, but it's coming to that point when we pay the amount of money that we paid. You're kind of expecting faster results when you pay a massive amount of money. And for me, I just think that Adam Idah has to do a bit more than he is producing at the minute. I think the majority of Celtic fans would even question who would come in first. Obviously, last night was a different setup to the game. But if you're playing, whoever we're playing at the weekend, if we play a league game or a home game, for me, 100 times out of 100, Kyogo should be starting the way that it stands at the minute, because I think Kyogo's performing far, far better than Adam Idah is at present. But just my opinion.
Yeah, there's a comment there as well for Big Rab being us. He's put in a comment about Engels and how there's been a bit of a mixed bag reaction in terms of the way he's performing just now in the Celtic team. Obviously, the mixed bag reaction's been coming from online in various different parts of social media. For me, Alan, I don't think he's done anything dramatically wrong. That you can. I've seen comments, people calling him a diddy, people saying that I hope we've kept the receipt for the £11 million we paid for him, and etc. And I think that's very, very harsh.
Very disrespectful.
I really do. Well, very disrespectful to the lad as well. In terms of his second part, his comment, he says, he reckons it could be the fact that there's no Belgian or Germans. People, Nicholas Kuhn's German, so if he needed to have a wee chat in German, I suppose Nicholas Kuhn could probably abide and give him that support if needed. But I did see another comment there about him being able to speak English. Yeah, Big Engels can speak English, so you know he's got good communication. I think it's just got to be time with the lad. I mean, he's came to a new country. It's a different environment entirely. I mean, he's travelling to places like Dingwall and places like McDermott Park, and it's probably a big, mate. It's probably a big shock to his system as well. When you look at he's used to be going to the like dinner Park and Dortmund, and you know, the Allianz Arena, the Leverkusen Stadium, Mönchengladbach Stadium. He's used to going to these grounds week in and week out, mate. And when you come away for that, and I know he's a young lad, but when you come away for that and you're used to playing against these teams, and then you're going and playing against up at Dingwall and get up to McDermott Park, and then having to go to Kilmarnock and all these kind of grounds where he's, where these kind of surfaces, etc. It's only natural, mate. It's going to take a wee bit of adaptation because, like I'm saying, it's like it's like you're on a ghost train for the first time in the carnival and you've never seen it before in your life, and it's only obvious you're going to get a bit of a shock and a fright.
It's a completely different culture as well. The guy's still young. He's kind of grew up in Belgium and
There you go.
Germany.
He said he's had a blonde moment.
It's through Belgium, and you look at he's usually gone to a kind of patisserie in the morning for his croissant, and now he's getting sent into Greg's for a sausage and bean bake. You know what I mean? So it's it's a different culture on a girl moving to a new country when you're a young guy. So I think when you look at him, and what we've seen, you can see he's got massive kind of technical ability. The guy's getting into he's getting called up for Belgium national side, and that's no easy feat whatsoever. There's a lot of very, very good players, especially in midfield for Belgium. So I think we should just kind of hold judgment. I know that's another one that there's been a massive kind of fee paid for him, but with my eyes, when you're looking at him, you can see he's got a massive amount of kind of technical ability, and I'm very sure that he will kind of get used to the game, get used to the culture, and I think he'll become a very important part of the Celtic side.
Yeah. There's a wee comment for John Mulaney there. He's asked us, he said, lads, do you keep Trusty or Scales in the team when CCV returns? To be fair, John, I think that question's been answered many a times now, mate. I don't think Liam Scales is going to drop out the Celtic team anytime soon, mate. I think he's cemented that position as his own. He's churned out, what's that, about a year and a bit now. He's worth a really good performances. The lad's get some start. I mean, he's unbeaten in the derby. He's had a couple of back-to-back Champions League man of the matches. He probably deserves Celtic's probably the man of the match last night. Him and Trusty were really, really fighting hard for it. I've always had Scales' back, and that's one thing I've certainly been constant with Big Scales. Even you lads have had a go at him. I've always said, let's be a bit patient with him. Let's do this, let's do that. And I think hard work and dedication, working on his game with a manager, working in the team, has got him. And not only that as well, John, I think the fact that he's fit all the time as well, he's a constant in the team. And I mean, even after last night, he deserves all the praise he's going to get. But for me, Alan, I think if any of the two of them are going to be dropped out, unfortunately, I know the big man was excellent last night, Austin Trusty. But I do think if Cameron Carter-Vickers is fit tomorrow and he's able to play at the weekend, then I think it'll be Austin Trusty that drops out, mate.
I don't think there's any doubt about it that Cameron Carter-Vickers is the best defender at my club, best defender in the league.
Yeah,
I'd say. So
he's becoming a problem now, mate, because
of the injury.
Yeah.
Scales has played exceptionally well this season. Maybe the first three quarters of last season, I thought he played exceptionally well. Did kind of dip in form a wee bit towards the latter part of the last season, I think. And the Aberdeen kind of Aberdeen semi-final, wasn't it? There was a few balls that he kind of let go at the back post. You're even looking at kind of maybe the weekend, everybody's entitled to an off day, but the kind of ball that goes over the top when Liam Scales kind of lets it through could be a bit better. So for me, I'd probably say Scales still stays in there in front of Trusty at the minute. My only question would be that we're paid kind of $6 million for Trusty. Does Brendan see Cameron Carter-Vickers and Trusty being his centre pair for the back in the future? I don't know, but for me, if I had to pick my two best centre halves at present, I'd probably go with Carter Vickers and Scales. We need a kind of broader time to see more Trusty.
Yeah.
As I say, we've seen the worst of him, maybe the last couple of games, and then we've seen the best of him last night. So
Yeah.
one's got to turn up at the weekend. But for me, Carl Vickers plays every time that he's fit. It is becoming concerning that the injuries that he's picking up, the game time that he's missing because of injuries. But definitely, he's probably, if he's fit, he's one of the first names in the team sheet for me.
Yeah, there's a wee comment off the big grab, and there is a few. I've had texts for a few Celtic fans even after last night saying that this should happen. I know where people are coming from. I get it. And Big Rab says that CCV for him doesn't walk straight back into the team. You know, if you lose your position due to injury, then you have to work hard and come back right and be fit. And if the two lads are obviously building a relationship just now, Trusty and Scales, I can see the argument, Alan. You know, as you said, he is our best defender, but he's becoming a problem, mate, and he's not fit for the big games. This is a problem now. This is not even something that's new. He's missed last season, missed most of last season's as well. When it comes Champions League nights, there's an argument there that he's not fit, and therefore, you know, I've even had a chat with my dad. My dad says if it's going to keep happening, we are going to have to jump back into the transfer market and try and get it covered, because if Narotsky's not available and he's no trusting Welsh to come in and do it, then I'm afraid it's certainly a position we need to. I know it's going to be difficult. People are probably saying this now, JP, but it's not easy to go and find a replacement for CCV. But before we had CCV, we managed to go and find them. So there will be somebody there that could come in and, you know, be fit to play football. Now, I know it's not the same injury all the time with him, but if he's picking up wee niggles and it's keeping him out for lengths of time, for me, that's a problem. And I get where Rab's coming from, Alan. I think it becomes more difficult when you've got two lads who aren't doing anything wrong, by the way. They are playing very, very well. And they've kept Celtic's first clean sheet in the Champions League in a long, long time last night. So if Cameron Carter-Vickers was fit and available for Sunday's game, I'm with Rab. I don't think Cameron Carter-Vickers should just get the jersey just because of who he is. You know, it's about the balance and the work rate of the team.
I get where he's coming from, but for me, it's a simple question. If he's fit, who's your best defenders? And that's who goes into the team for me. I know that.
Yeah, I get that as well.
Last night, obviously, they played brilliantly, but for me, Brendan will know that Carl Vickers is my best defender, and that'll be the choice. If he's fit, who goes into the team? For me, you pick your best players right away. You need to pick your best players, and for me, Cameron Carter-Vickers is my best defender.
Yeah.
We've not seen enough Trusty to trust him. Just as of yet, as I say, it's been inconsistent. We can't he played brilliantly well last night, absolutely fantastic, but we can't judge him on one game. As I say, the last two games before that, he wasn't particularly good. So we need to see more of him first before we can properly judge him. Hopefully, he continues the vein form for last night and takes that forward. But I don't think, for me, my personal opinion, I don't think there's any doubt if Cameron Carter-Vickers is fit, gets back into the team straight away. I do agree with you, it's becoming a bit of an issue because he's
yeah.
How many times he's missing for the side, how many games he's missing, his injury rate, it is all different injuries as well. So
yeah.
I think it is becoming concerning, but we want our best players in that first 11. We need to find a way to get Cameron Carter-Vickers fit. If he can't be fit, then it might be the question. He does need to we need to look at alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
But as we speak just now, if he's fit, direct onto the team, in my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, we're just about to finish up, Alan. Before we go, I just want to touch on, because after this, I've got the weekend off, so I'm quite chuffed for that. The lads will be recording probably tonight or about tomorrow for you guys, the viewers. Ryan and Alan will do a wee recording, probably touching on Motherwell for the weekend. I won't be part of that because I've got the weekend off. I put my annual leave slip in 2 weeks ago, so I got it authorised. But yeah, I'm just going to touch on it briefly before we finish up, mate. Obviously, you're going to chat with Ryan about it later. And so I just think, listen, third part's a tough place to go. Motherwell in a good vein of form. I know the last couple of weeks they've played 4-4-2. They've created some problems for teams. I like the manager. I like the way he tries to approach football. Stuart Kettlewell. They've got some really good players. The boy in the midfield, I can't mind his name. It's no Andy Halliday, by the way. There's another boy in the midfield that's a very good player. Lennon Miller's absolute quality. So no doubt they will pose a threat to us. I do feel the Celtic team will slightly change at the weekend, Alan. So I'm just going to give you my team just now, mate. I think it'll be Kasper Schmeichel. I think it'll be Anthony Ralston. Looking at AJ last night, I think his hammy might be dodgy because of the way he fell and he struggled. I think it will be Anthony Ralston. I think it'll be Austin Trusty, Liam Scales and Alex Valle. I think the midfield will change, mate. I think it might be... I think Bernardo comes back in, mate. I think he'll come back in for the game. I actually think it'll be Bernardo, McCown and McGregor. I actually think he'll change the team on Sunday to give Engels and Hatate a wee bit of rest. I've had a lot of football recently and big games for us. I think it'll be James Forrest, Nicholas Kuhn, and I think Kyogo will come back into the team and start. So that's my teammate for the weekend.
Quite a number of changes. I'll let you know tomorrow.
Yeah. Obviously, Big Alan will let you know for tomorrow, folks. But I just wanted to put my wee bit in. But I want to say a massive thanks to Alan yourself for joining me this morning, and the rest of you guys for all your comments and taking part this morning and watching us. I hope everybody's well. Hope everybody's had a good week. Results like last night will seemingly help with that as well. And on to the next one, which is Sunday. But for now, guys, take care. A massive hail. And we will see you all later. Bye-bye.